What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Fourth time doing this. Holy crap. I had one perfect video and no, I just keep messing up over and over and over again. Either way, we are here and we are looking at Faarooq, the Acolytes. I love Faarooq. Faarooq is too much fun for me to be able to put into words. I love the fact that he has 2 to 3 very strong builds. I don't know, words just can't describe how happy he makes me. So we're going to go in today. We're looking at the first move set, which is leaping shoulder block into the snap, scoop, power slam into the dominator. Now, I'm still getting comfortable with the trainers here. I'm not 100% happy with all of them, but you know, it is what it is. We're going to take Big Papa Pump off of here because I was trying to show in the last video I did just how strong he can be, but I couldn't find an acrobat to save my freaking life. So ultimately, I'm going to have to switch up a couple of things here. As you can see, I've gone through quite a few iterations with him. Different trainers left, right, and center. I've already been practicing all day, every day with all of these. We're going to go with Piper right here because it's 40%. We're going with Piper. 1, because of the MP charge, it does help on the Dominator. 2, the red gem damage does substantial amount of damage here. This is what makes him feel so awkward to me with this moveset, is I'm used to consistency. I'm used to focusing, one specific area. With this moveset, I focus 2 areas. I focus move damage and I focus gem damage. The best way to describe this is his belt right now. I've got Fury 2 here and I've got Takedown 2 here. I am back and forth right now on what I really want to do with him. Basically, since the belt does not have a bonus with it, because I was lucky enough to get a belt with no bonus and reinforced it and still no bonus. Yay, 1%ers. But either way, until I get a belt for him, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth on the metals. I'm hybriding it right now because the 200% red move, Fury 2, is on Bradshaw, and I don't ever plan on it getting taken off of Bradshaw until I get bored with Bradshaw. Let's just be honest. So it's ideal to keep it right there, especially with the way resource costs are nowadays. Moving forward, I don't know if I want to keep Fury 2 on him or Takedown 2. I like to go class advantage. So with the finisher doing what it does basically 2 million damage almost, just off of base damage alone. And then you do an additional 0.5 mil damage, basically, if you're facing an acrobat, and increasing your gem damage by 500%. That's where I kind of want to go with a hybrid, because he is a hybrid in and of himself. The damage is super big off of the moves. The damage can be super big off of the gems. It is, or it's there, but it's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just kind of torn, ultimately. He's a puzzle that I want to get to perfection. And as everyone knows, perfection is not realistic. You can get up to 98, 99%, but there's always going to be a fraction of a percent that's not going to be perfect, so it's never going to get to 100. But I want to get to him as close as humanly possible, and that's why we're trying this out today. The hybrid build on the belt is also affecting the moves as well, giving 62% increased damage off of our red gems right here. That's going to offer quite a bit of damage in and of itself. So we're going to take this in against Eddie like normal. Eddie's our normal punching bag. I do not recommend taking this in against a tech, for instance. It's very, 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 very difficult. So there's a few ways you can run him. Right now, I'm kind of settling for what I have in regards to the board being what it is. Shit. I didn't mean to do that. But either way, he's going to be done here in a second anyhow. We just ripped his life apart. I'm just messing up today. So either way, how you want to run this is not do what I did. You're going to sit down and we're going to go into another fight. We're going to fight you again with this setup because I want to do it proper. Just don't like your damage right now. I wish there was an acrobat so I could show this off. facing an acro with Faarooq and that finisher, it erases the acrobat. It just, they're done. They're not coming back. So we're going to go back in again, and I'm going to break this down the way I need to. Instead of going off on tangents, I'm a little frazzled right now because, like I said before, I've done this 3 times, and every single time something's come up. So this is where I sit right now. Okay, so what you want to do with this is you want to make sure that you have a wild card presented. During feud times and stuff like that, ideally what you want to do is you want to do your 3 across here, because this is a 10 charge. You go 3 across here, it breaks, and then you do your wild card setup after you've done the leaping shoulder block, which right now with all of these on the board is doing a solid 7 mil. And then you hit here, it breaks that, and goes there. So you want to try and avoid breaking 8 gems total. Basically is where I'm getting at with it. It's a process. And then he is outright done. Against an acro, it's a little bit easier. But I'm still not 100% comfortable with this setup. It's a strong setup, and I think it'll do really, really well against like a boss battle or in boss battle. So if you don't have Powerhouse Sammy, but it's a red gem boss battle, that would do very well. That what move is that called again? The Snap Scoop Slam would go really well there. This is now my backup. Now we're going to go into my backup build. Now this one is going to confuse quite a few people. The reason I say it's going to confuse quite a few people is the way I run it. It's not great. It's not world changing, but it's how I feel the most comfortable running him because I like control. So we switched out the Power Slam for the short arm clothesline, which is going to deal 0.5 mil damage, and choose a 2x2 area to make into 1 turn countdown gems that will deal 681,000 damage and increase your red MP by 3. I ran this for the last 4 hours of the Flash feud this last weekend, and this is where I felt the most comfortable. The MP reduction from Super Stacy and Kali offer a cushion to where I don't have to rely on the leaping shoulder block to make the wild card, get the gem or countdown gems to pop, and everything like that. It gave me that one additional turn that allowed me to get the Dominator off guaranteed turn 2. And what I would do is I would go and set up the short arm clothesline, swipe, then do the short arm clothesline again, dealing an additional, getting 1 million damage total off of that, and laying down the countdowns. Then I would hit the Dominator. It set you up for turn 3, if in fact it got to turn 3. Is it speedy? Not necessarily, but I'm sure there's a way it could be speedy. This last Flash feud just didn't offer very much. Let's put it that way. The only time I really got the hardcore off this last feud was if I was facing a Ghostbuster Cena. And that was really all it was. I still took a little bit of damage from Cena, but they never actually went after my countdowns, so it worked. So we're going to go in against LWO Eddie again with this. Like I said, there's going to be varying opinions on this one. A lot of people like doing the Scoop Slam first, charging up the countdowns with that, and then doing the wild card and getting everything set up. Like it works for them. It just doesn't sit right for me. So this game is solely about what's going to be comfortable for you, not for everybody else in the room. And this is where it is the most comfortable for me. Because even after all of this, like, look at that explosion of flavor and the damage. Like, come on. So, since I don't have a promoter for powerhouses yet, because I just can't do that grind for Taker. I just really can't. I'm hoping that my procrastination pays off later on down the line and they come out with another one that's easier to get. I don't have time to sit here for 6 months grinding out Taker. It just doesn't enthuse me at all. So that was that one. And as you can tell, having Priest on here increased that finisher to almost 10 mil. So pretty nice, especially with the metal I've got on it. So now we're going to go with the triple black. The triple black, in my opinion, let's not say my opinion. In the facts of life, that is me playing this game. I completely voided out anything that had to do with the thrust spine buster. I didn't think about it. I didn't look at it. I overlooked it drastically and I went with other things that didn't work. However, this one's going to work. So I know the go to for everybody is hitting Rocky Johnson for that additional 50%. Personally, I don't like that. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm actually kind of hesitant in taking Logan Paul to max trainer is that additional turn. I just don't like it. But for purposes, we're gonna go with Rocky for purposes. In all fairness, if I wasn't gonna go with Rocky, I'd stick with Super Stacy, to be blunt about it. The 30% less damage from green moves is very beneficial since a lot of people are like me and they go class advantage. So this does negate, or that does help against a little bit against like Tex Sammys and a few other cards. It does help to an extent, but the MP reduction is the main course. But since we're on tour, I'm just gonna go with Rocky. I don't like 4 turns or 5 turns for that matter for this one because the thrust spinebuster, it's going to deal 192 damage off the gate or out the gate and choose 2 gems to make into 2 turn count or juggernaut gems. These are going to deal 99,000 bonus damage for every row break gem on every countdown turn and make 12 random column break gem or destroy, 12 column break gems at the end of the countdown. So basically, you lay down the spinebuster or you do the spinebuster first, lay down the jugs, then you go to the chokehold, getting your row breaks at the end of that. The reason I don't like the extra turns is that one extra turn could negate out 3 or 4 row break gems, so it cuts off his damage just a little bit. Does it come back in kind because of the fact he's doing a lot of damage? Sure, but you want to be able to blow up the board. Let's just be honest. We want to be able to recycle this as much as possible because there is no way to recycle. One thing you can do instead of doing the spinebuster, if you so choose, is you can throw in the belly to back suplex. Gives you a little bit of a cushion for when you break all of these after the second submission, because this is essentially how I ran it for feud, and I was special. I ran this also for showdown because the red moves were increased for this month for showdown. So having this being able to go off turn 1 allowed these to follow suit. And that was just switching out Xavier for Sting or Butch, either one. Just having that go off turn 1 just helped. Oh, no. No, Jeffrey. No. Put the jug back. So we're going to go with this first. And this is going to be our last move set for this. I could go into a much longer analysis on Faarooq, what could not work, stuff like that. But I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to go corner to corner. Not technically that corner because there's green right there. There's a match. We're going to hit the row break. We're doing 1,000,000 damage, which isn't bad. We're going to do 4 million off the rip. We've left quite a bit there. Now he took 1. So those are going to do some damage, some good damage. Then we're going to hit this. And yet again, doing far more damage. Luckily, it did not cover our jugs, so that's fantastic. And then we'll just let the computer do what it do. Blow up the board. Right there. Bam. And we're recharged completely. So this is where the argument for Fury 2 would be in place. Fury 2 on him would be a lot better for this build. Solely because you're blowing up the board. Outside of that, if it wasn't for the fact that he's blowing up the board, I'd probably go Vitality or even Armor. It may not do a whole lot, but it does help. It helps. It's a small help, but it's a help nonetheless. Either way, this is our showcase of Faarooq. Again, I love Faarooq. We went through 3 very strong builds. There, I'm sure, are a plethora more. We didn't get a look at the belly to back suplex. And I think that's the only one. Yeah, it's the only one we didn't look at. Like I said, this to me is it's a helper. So if you're not able to you're able to do this in feud easily enough. But if you're worried that someone's going to take away the jugs and it's not going to be worth it for you, or your trainer balance is kind of off and you're like me, who has an affiliation belt on Butch and Sting, you're able to kind of work your way around it with as many red move users that I have. You are able to move it around a little bit to where this is able to go off turn one, and that fills into here, which leads you into blowing it up yourself. It still works, is very convenient. Faarooq is, in my opinion, and this is solely my opinion, he is at least tied for second place on the strongest powerhouses in the game. KO is the number one strongest powerhouse in the game. No one can tell me different. I hit I hit 112 million damage with him on Stip Tours with the way I have him set up, and that's belt not even being fully unlocked. So Powerhouse KO, obviously number one. He will probably stay number one for a very long time with how much damage he can actually do. If they nerf him down a bit, then yeah, there's going to be a problem. But I don't see that happening. He's been out for long enough now with no changes. I don't see it coming anytime soon. Faarooq, in regards to my roster, Powerhouse KO is number one. Mutant Seth with Titan Plate and Sheriff's Badge is tied for number two with Faarooq. Number three would be, and third place / fourth place would be Zombie Cody, which I'll be doing a video on Zombie Cody at 6-star bronze, hopefully here soon. He's one of those cards that I've thought about, I've wanted to work with, but I'm on the fence about. I'm sure most of you understand this, given what his moveset looks like. So, with all that being said, with all the rambling being done, I'm gonna leave you guys the same way I always leave you guys. Life can be fun if you allow it to be. See you in the next video.